Good morning, everybody. The Honorable Minister of Health, here represented by the CMD of Louth, Professor Christopher Bode, the Honorable Commissioner of Health, Lagos State, Professor Akin Abayomi, whom I don't see here. Okay. The chairman of this ceremony, the esteemed Olorogun Dr. Sonny Kuku, OFR, co-founder, Eco Hospital. The keynote speaker, Professor Felicia Anoma. The president, Endocrine and Metabolism Society of Nigeria-EMSON, Professor Olufemi Fashammade. The chairman, Local Organizing Committee, Professor Ademola Oremosun. The amiable EMSON executive members, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings from Ogun State, the Gateway State. Thank you for the honor of joining you at the 43rd Annual General Meeting and Scientific Conference of the Endocrine and Metabolism Society of Nigeria, EMSON. I applaud the leadership of EMSON under its president, Professor Femi Fashammade, and the chairperson of the organizing committee, Professor Ademola Oremosun, for working to make this day happen. I say well done to you. This conference provides the opportunity for us to acquire knowledge from the depth of research on obesity and overweight in Nigeria. I'd like to touch on a number of issues which may end up being part of the larger deliberations in this program. As a wife of a governor, I know from experience that public health stands as a major challenge for any government. It affects people directly and is often an indicator of how well the government is doing. It is also one of the reasons why we established a Ajoshe Foundation in Ogun State. Our health pillar leans toward the well-being of women and children, and there is so much we have learned in the past 3 years. What you will often discover is that people's needs are so great that existing infrastructure are unable to handle them. At the grassroots, we're still dealing with malaria. As simple as it is, with all the remedies readily available, tens of thousands of our people still die from this disease every year. Bacterial and viral infections are also still common because of issues of clean water and sanitation. The challenges in the health sector are great, they're enormous. And it is important not to neglect one area of public health at the expense of another. What this conference is helping us to do today is to address obesity and overweight as a growing public health concern in the hopes of establishing a balanced and all-round healthy population. As we catch up with the rest of the world in technology and economic development, progress comes with its own problems. A fast food chain may invest billions of dollars in our economy, but also to create a lifestyle that increases consumption of high-calorie processed food. While we welcome development, we should increase investment in advocacy around obesity and its risks. Cardiovascular diseases are a silent killer, but we have the tools to reverse the growing trend in our country. Let me give a quick example. We all remember how tobacco smoking became a public health emergency in the 1990s. At the time, cigarettes were seen on billboards, in newspaper magazines, and on television. It seemed to us that the very thing rejected by the West was being embraced by Africa. And children as young as 13 were picking up the habit. From 2003, it took a combination of efforts from the World Health Organization, the Nigerian health sector, and other stakeholders for us to begin seeing a gradual decline. Government regulation, increased tariffs on cigarettes, and the banning of cigarette advertisements went a long way, along with advocacy by NGOs on the dangers of tobacco smoking. On obesity and overweight, our role, therefore, in government is to work with the health sector in developing the framework for the control of certain potentially harmful foods and its constituents. Those in the health sector and other stakeholders can also help develop these frameworks, providing reliable data for how we can address the growing problem of obesity and overweight. Let us not look at it as a big man's problem or the sickness of those who have eaten very well. There's a difference between eating well and eating the wrong thing. I noted in the initial program sent to me that parts of the discussions at this conference will be around child obesity. The WHO says that low and middle income countries like Nigeria are grappling with a double burden of malnutrition, and it is not uncommon to find cases of undernutrition and obesity coexisting in the same regions. Children are more susceptible to high salt, high sugar, and micronutrient-poor foods. I am particularly interested in learning what the outcomes will be from the session on childhood obesity and what we can do to further promote children's health and nutrition in our state. Also, I believe a national framework for addressing childhood obesity will be of great help if our parents are adequately sensitized on what to do to help their children. This is even more critical as the country develops in the future and more people move into the middle class. I won't keep you here long. I'm also here to listen and to learn. I want to close by emphasizing on partnerships and collaboration in addressing the growing public health concern of obesity and overweight. I am confident that when everyone plays their part and our efforts are harmonized, then our campaign will begin to yield best results. Thank you once again to the EXCOs and the members of the Endocrine and Metabolism Society of Nigeria, the resident and visiting faculty, the clinical experts who will be making presentations during this conference. I really appreciate your invaluable contributions to the medical practice in Nigeria. Thank you also for not jumping on the gravy train of Japa-ism and staying on in Nigeria, despite the obvious challenges, despite the obvious challenges, and giving back to a society that is in dire need of experts like you. Thank you very much, and God bless.